Hi and hello, Eagles fans, and welcome to this presentation of TCC Baseball Wednesday afternoon action here at Eagle Field. Your Tallahassee Eagles taking on the visiting Santa Fe Saints by way of Gainesville. William Haynes alongside Max Rundy for all the action, all 9 innings today. It will be Brett Gwynn on the mound for Tallahassee as he's throwing his final warm-up tosses going up against the southpaw Mitchell Gross. And Max, these two teams have faced off already this season. On February 2nd, it was a 12-10 victory in favor of the Eagles in only the second game of the season. 3 of the Eagles' 5 home runs on the entire year came in that game alone. They're facing Mitchell Gross for the second time. So tell me a little bit what that's like, getting a rematch against a team and that you already beat.
So there's 2 different mindsets that you have to take here. One, as a hitter, you walk in extremely confident knowing that you've gotten to this guy before and now you're playing at home. Being able to replicate it should be a given. As a pitcher, though, talking about Mitchell Gross here, he's going to come in with a vengeance. He's going to come back and try and shut down this TCC Eagles lineup and do so, which he actually did a pretty good job of for quite a while. But then after about 5 innings, he got pulled. And as much as I can say it might have been his fault, the bullpen really let him down that day.
Absolutely. The guy that came in after Mitchell Gross gave up a few runs, only recording 1 out, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on as we move forward. And for the pitcher on the mound for TCC, Brett Gwynn, his first appearance of the 2022 season was as a pitcher on February 8th against Abraham Baldwin. Went 2 2/3 scoreless, pitched really well then, but then since then we've seen him as a switch-hitting first baseman. He's been really well starting in the lineup. He came off the bench one game to play defense and then was a spark plug, hitting a leadoff double in an inning that basically allowed the Eagles to take the lead for good. So he's back on the mound, and that opens up the path for my guy Johnson to get back on the field at first base.
You know, this guy Gwynn, he really replicates a little bit like I used to play. I switch hit for about a year or so. Big righty, big left-handed bat.
So in steps the right-handed shortstop Jevin Relaford as we're about ready to get things underway.
It's a beautiful day here in Tallahassee.
Absolutely, high 70s here on this Wednesday afternoon. Santa Fe came into the season number 16 in the land. From the first base side of the rubber, the first pitch of the game is called a strike to Relaford.
Great pitch to start out, painting that outside corner with that fastball. If you can live there today, it's going to be a tough day for these Saints.
Kreisen a terrific backstop to go along with it. Sets up outside again. That one missing a little bit low, so the count now even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
I cannot stress enough to you how important the catcher position is. It often gets overlooked, but it not only helps your team with pass balls and whatnot, but it can keep your pitcher nice and collected.
That one chopped foul along the third base side, so the count now moving to 1 ball and 2 strikes. The defensive lineup for the Eagles today in the outfield from left to right, it goes Absher, Pagozzo, Mitchum, and then in the infield from third to first, Fernandez, Makowski, Cruz, Johnson, with Ethan Kreisen behind the plate catching for Brett Gwynn, the righty on the mound. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball but taken for ball number 2.
That one almost looped right back in there for a beautiful front door curveball that would have had him frozen and walking back to the plate, but we'll move to an even count here.
First inning always getting a chance to kind of scout the kind of zone that the home plate umpire is going to call. Kreisen sets up outside again for a 2-2 pitch, and that one missing high will bring the count to the leadoff man, Relaford, full.
Big guy like this, he's got to reach all the way out right there, really drive that fastball to home plate.
Looking for the first out of this ball game. Brett Gwynn on a payoff pitch. He comes home. That one popped high in the air. The shortstop's Makowski going over, and I think he's called it, and it is into his mitt for out number 1 of this ball game.
He really just took that ball away from Cruz right there.
Shortstop, kind of the captain of the infield, calling that fly ball, so some leadership there as he says a couple words to his second baseman, Justin Cruz. They fist bump with the gloves, and now we're 1 away for Wyatt Campbell.
Let's see if this game gets off to as quick of a start as it did last time. 1-0 for each, or 1 run for each side in the top and the bottom of the first.
2 lefties in the lineup for the Saints against the righty Gwynn. That first pitch called a strike to Campbell.
Nothing like a first pitch curveball.
Got him with the breaking ball there. The offense for the Saints, speaking season-wide, has been much more dynamic in 12 games. Santa Fe has 79 runs, 10 homers. Now the 0-1. And gets him with the breaking ball there. Has to duck underneath it, and the count now moves to 1-1.
Curveball just slipped out of his hand a little too early right there. Lucky it didn't hit the batter, though.
And in contrast, in 10 games played for the Eagles, they have 51 runs and 5 home runs. As I said, 3 of those 5 came back on February 2nd in the first meeting, a 12-10 victory in Gainesville. That 1-1 swung on and missed. So now the count moving to 1 ball and 2 strikes against the third baseman, Campbell.
He's looking nice and calm so far, not over pitching too much yet. He just needs to stay on top of it and drive through that baseball.
Gwynn potentially looking for his first strikeout of the ball game. Had a full count to the last batter. And that one fouled straight back. They're going to say he went through, and there will be no throw down to first as Campbell getting on first on a strikeout and a wild pitch.
That looked a little awkward right there. I'm not sure he just didn't want to drop and block for it. Thought he could scoop it maybe. Pretty rare mistake by Kreisen, I would say.
Immediately I thought it might have nicked the bat, but it didn't. It went really straight back to the backstop, and a really deep backstop here at Eagle Field, and there was no play for Kreisen. He went to go get the ball. So, as I said, a strikeout and a wild pitch gets Campbell at first base now for one of the 2 lefties in this lineup, J.P. Harrells. So you get the lefty on righty matchup with a runner on and 1 out. First pitch to him is taken low for ball 1.
Harrell's on the season hitting .400 with a .600 slugging. No home runs though, so he's got some. He's not quite as many at bats as some of these other Saints players.
That 1-0 pitch gets a strike called on the outside.
Looked a little bit more wide out there against this lefty. See if he can, the umpire behind home plate can keep that a little bit more consistent.
Gwynn looking over there at first base. Not a huge lead for Campbell there. And that one put on the ground, and it's going to get past Mekhi Johnson and through the right side of the infield for a base hit. Saints moving station to station on the play. It'll be first and second with only 1 out now for the cleanup hitter, the catcher, Santiago Garavito.
Just a nice little dribbler through the first base, second base gap right there. This is how innings start. Strikeout, drop third strike, he gets on base, little dribbler. I mean, this is just baseball at its finest right here, stealing runs that shouldn't be taken.
Garavito this season in 34 at-bats, batting just under 300. 7 runs batted in on the year. He's got a runner in scoring position here in the top of the first. Gwynn now checking back at second base. Cruz backs out of the bag. Now he'll come home. That first pitch as they appeal down is going to be ball 1.
Always interesting to see those check swings here when you only got 2 umpires. Really didn't have a great view on that, but I think you made the right call.
Now the 1-0 pitch, that one on the corner called a strike. So now you got the count even at 1-1.
Gwynn's keeping his composure real well out there. Something I definitely struggled at when some of these out of your control issues happen.
Only his second pitching appearance of the year.
There's a nice strong breeze out there in deep center right now.
Yeah, you see the flag really picking up. Moving towards the east side. The 1-1 to Garavito, and that one is going to be fair right to the first baseman Johnson. He'll get to the bag in time, but the runners do advance. So successful in moving the runners over, and with second and third and 2 outs, that'll leave it for the right fielder Dylan Mock.
Mekhi Johnson there, just trying to do a little bit too much too quickly as he was hoping to maybe get that ball to second base for a quick double play, maybe step on the bag first, but rushed it a little bit and didn't quite get the ball first. Let's see if Gwynn can get this huge third out right here, though.
Mock this season batting .250 in 28 at-bats. Only has 1 run batted in on the year. A base hit would score 2 runners running on contact with 2 outs. Brett Gwynn staring down at third base. Now he'll come home. And that breaking ball is, I think, just a little bit high for ball number 1.
Those high breaking balls, always the hardest pitch to call for a behind the plate umpire. I really think that one might have snuck in there, though.
On 1-0, swing and a miss there. So you got it now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Plenty of even counts in this first inning, and let's see if Brett Gwynn can come out on the leading edge of it on this next one.
Really powered him right down the middle right there with that fastball. Did not believe he could catch up.
The 1-1 delivery to Mock, and that one is called on the outside part again. Strike number 2, and now if you're Brett Gwynn, you're 1 strike away from getting out of this first inning scoreless.
Gwynn's done a great job of mixing up pitches right there as he left Mock guessing right there, staring down yet another fastball right in the zone.
Maybe looking for that breaking ball. Let's see if Gwynn gives it to him on 1 and 2. Puts that one just foul. That would have gone for extra bases and scored a couple of runs, but just foul of that first base line, and we'll do it again at 1 and 2.
It wasn't even necessarily that bad of a pitch, just maybe half-inch lower, and it would have been a put-away pitch, but left it just enough there to try and poke it over to right field. Just foul, though.
You can tell Mock's teed up for that off-speed, so maybe give him the heater again, this time on 1 and 2. And the pitch home. Outside, blocked nicely by Kreisen. Probably saved a run there.
Made up for the mistake earlier in this inning.
As Wyatt Campbell at third base was more than eager to try and scamper home, but as I said, a nice play defensively by the backstop Kreisen, and that will level the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Feel like he might spike a curveball again here with that open base at first.
Looking for that final put away of this first inning. And that one popped high in the air. Will it stay in play? It looks like it will. The first baseman, Makai Johnson, coming over, and he's called it, and it's into his glove in foul territory for out number 3. So a strikeout that ends up getting down to first base. They do end up having runners at second and third, but Brett Gwynn leaves them there. Your Eagles come up to the plate for the first time in this game when we return. We welcome you back to Eagle Field, bottom of the first. Brett Gwynn getting out of a jam. It'll be Jason Smakowski to get things started off for TCC. The starter on the mound for the Santa Fe Saints, the southpaw Mitchell Gross. This season, Gross is 0-1 with a 3.38 ERA and 16 innings of work. We mentioned his appearance against TCC earlier as that fastball was fouled quickly out of play. On that February 2nd game in Gainesville, Mitchell Gross, 5 innings of work, 4 runs, only 3 earned on 7 hits, 1 walk, strikeouts and did give up 2 long balls. The 0-1 pitch upcoming to Zmetkowski. Here it is. And that one put into play, and that one is going to be backgloved by the shortstop, who makes a long throw to first and will not nearly be in time. So a leadoff infield single for Jason Zmetkowski.
Relaford really didn't have much of a chance right there. At best, he might have tried a Jeter throw right there. Probably still wouldn't have had Zmetkowski.
Zmetkowski, Absher, and Fernandez were the 3 Eagles that homered in that game. So Zmetkowski, the shortstop, gets on, and that will bring up Dave Mitchum, the right fielder's batting second in the order today. Typically the spot for who usually plays right field, Ziggy Thomas, but he's a lefty bat. You're facing a lefty pitcher on the mound here, so Ziggy Thomas getting the day off as Mitchum tries to lay a bunt down, and that one flies back to the backstop.
Mike McLeod, head coach of your TCC Eagles, big fan of that sacrifice bunt. I would like to hear your input on it, William.
I think especially for this team where you've got a lot of speed up and down the lineup and a team that it's part of their identity, so it's something they execute incredibly well. I tend to like it. Swinging on 0-1 and pops that one out of play into the blue skies.
I think the issue with the sack bunt is if you don't get it down, you put your hitter in a bad situation. They're usually very stressed after that. They haven't gotten a swing off yet. They're very worried, I would say.
The 0-2 to Mitchum, and that one tapped foul right in front of the plate, so it'll stay at 0-2.
Gross is working real fast to this point, I would say. He's even got a runner to check on over there and not really giving Zmetkowski much of an eye.
Zmetkowski taking a little bit of a bigger lead over there first. And you've got a lefty, so you can stare him down. Time called. Another 0-2 pitch coming into Mitchum, and that one is high. Catcher checks on the runner, who's not going, and now the count sits at 1-2.
On the season, Zmetkowski's 2 for 4 on his stolen base attempts.
Mitchum, the man at the plate, 1 for 9 this season with a double. Takes another pitch on 1-2, and now he's got the count even.
And right there is the classic case of a catcher giving up on a pitch a little too early. That curveball came out really high, but moved back into the zone possibly right there at the end, but he stood up and gave the umpire no chance at giving it a strike.
And how about a couple of really patient takes by Mitchum on 0-2 to get himself back into this count? The 2-2 pitch, and swinging away there, fouls that one out in front. And so we'll do it again.
Mitchum battling very hard here. As he went down 0-2, he could have easily just rolled over.
Appeared in 6 of the Eagles' 10 games this year. Tends to kind of be the odd man out in the outfield, but still really early on in the season, that's all kind of rotating around. Throw over to first there. Zmetkowski sliding back into the bag, and the catcher Garavito was set outside for that pitch as well, so we'll see if that call is on again.
Most pitchers have 3 different types of pickoff moves. They're basic, not that good. They're medium, and they're very intense. That looked to be medium. I think he can do better.
That 2-2 put into play right to the shortstop Relaford, who goes to second for 1, and not in time to first for the second. So Mitchum able to run out that double play ball. It's a fielder's choice for him. 6-4 on the putout to retire Zmetkowski.
Zeth Rodriguez looked like he had some trouble transferring the ball over there, then spiked the ball to first base. So my guess is he didn't quite get a full grip on it.
Relaford as well at shortstop's already gotten a pretty intense look in this game through 2 batters, and now it will bring up the flaming red-hot Josh Pagozzo to the plate.
You could not have said it better. This man's going crazy right now.
First pitch to him is high, and we'll see if they even really want to pitch to him much in this game. We talked a lot about his performance over the weekend, so 31 at-bats. He's batting .452, 571 OBP, and slugging about 1,000. He's got 11 extra base hits. Throw down to second, and the throw is going to be in time. So it looked like I thought the runner Mitchell might have beaten him, but instead he's out. So that erases that base runner there. And for 2 outs, Base is clear now for Josh Pagozzo on the caught stealing for Mitchum.
That was a real awkward call and reaction right there, but he looked to have him out by a little bit.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it was that lack of emphasis on the call there by the umpire. Usually you see him do that real emphatic punch out, but instead he just kind of looked over and just kind of threw up the fist. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count to Pagozzo. Here it is. That one fouled back along the screen. And I do get the logic that maybe for your best hitter that you want to get a runner in scoring position, but to me, I mean, I'd rather just keep him on base with a guy that's hitting 452.
Yeah,
and a lot of extra base hits. I mean, a man at first could still score on a hit the way Josh Pagozzo's swinging the bat right now.
Definitely a bold decision.
Here's the 2-2. Give him a little bit of a change up there. A nice take on the outside part will bring the count full.
That was a real enticing pitch right there. It had me swinging, I'll say that.
The payoff to Pagozzo. Swung on and missed. So a leadoff single is erased as the Eagles go down 1-2-3 in the first. We're scoreless after 1. You're watching Eagles baseball on tcceagles.com and YouTube. Jacob Guthrie will get things started in the top of the second for Santa Fe. Left fielder hitting right. It'll be Guthrie, Graham, Rodriguez as we're approaching the bottom of this Saints order. Brett Gwynn back out for his second inning of work. Had runners at second and third with no outs and got a big pop out of Dylan Mock. That one, I think, missing just a bit high. We've seen that call a couple of times.
Jacob Guthrie here, a little shorter than maybe some of the other hitters we've seen, so might have been just a bit high.
That one low, and we'll move the count now to 2 balls and no strikes.
Guthrie on the season hitting .238 with a .381 slugging, so he's hitting some gappers whenever he does get on base.
See if he's going to try and swing in a hitter's count. He does, and Smekoski gets the liner into his glove for out number 1.
Phenomenal play by Smekoski right there. Just read it right into his glove, easily caught it, didn't overplay it.
Really smooth defender over there at short. Making a nice play, and that'll bring up the lefty DH Billy Graham. Graham this year, 27 at-bats, sporting a .259 average. That first pitch to him is high.
I believe this is only the second lefty Gwynn has faced so far.
2 of 9 in the order today for the Saints.
Different look for sure.
Big cut and a miss on that nice tight breaking ball.
Some solid late movement right there, as the infield is shifted over right now for Graham.
Infield playing the pull, but no shifts. Makowski still on the left side of the second base, but not by much. As that one is put on a play on the pull side, and a nice running catch made by Dave Mitchum for out number 2. So a couple of hard liners as the Saints are making some contact, but couldn't get either of those balls to fall. And with 2 outs and the bases clear, that'll be the second baseman, Zeth Rodriguez.
Well, last inning, Gwynn faced a little bit of unfortunate mistakes, nothing he can really control. This inning, he's really given up some hard-hit balls, but it's finding gloves, so it's just the way of baseball right there.
Zeth at the bottom of the team in at-bats with only 11. As that one is popped high in the air, Fernandez chasing that one towards his dugout, out in front of it, now comes back in, and I think he made the catch. He did. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for Brett Gwynn, in which the Eagles sported a trio of excellent defensive plays. We head to the bottom of the second. You're watching Eagles Baseball on TCCEagles.com. Andrew Fernandez, the third baseman, getting things started off for the Eagles in their half of the second inning. They went down in order in the first, so it'll be Fernandez, Dinges, and Kreisen getting their first hacks of the game against the lefty Mitchell Gross. Andrew Fernandez, the switch hitter, steps in, takes that first one for a strike.
Fernandez having a sneaky good season here, hitting .344 with a .594 slugging, surprisingly enough.
Puts that one in the center, and it gets down for a base hit. So back-to-back innings started off with a leadoff single. And Fernandez getting himself another hit.
Now batting, designated hitter, number 5, Marco Dinges.
Now that'll be the DH, Marco Dinges. Dinges leading the team in at-bats with 37, sporting a .243 average, 6 runs batted in. 9 hits, 2 for extra bases, both doubles. First one into him is called for a strike on the inside part.
That was a close one. Seemed a little inside right there. Let's see if he keeps giving that inside pitch against right-handed hitters for this lefty.
Catcher setting up outside. Throw over to first. Fernandez sliding back in safely.
Slight hesitation over there by Fernandez, but he was able to just get his hand in.
Definitely at the top of the list as far as guys you would send that are in this lineup today. Taking a pretty big lead over there at first with Gross standing him down. Now the 0-1 pitch. Swinging away right to the second baseman who loses the handle. It gets into center field. And so that'll be first and second with nobody out. As there's a single by Marco Dinges off the glove, I think, a little bit of Zeth Rodriguez. But pretty well hit hard off the bat. And now that'll bring up the catcher, Ethan Kreisen, with a chance to give his Eagles the first lead of the day.
Killer hop right there. Just hit the dirt and squeaked right under that glove. Maybe got a little tip of it. It's a Tough call if it doesn't hit the glove, though, because that redirect almost want to make it a single, but it might have been an error still.
Kreisen on the year in 7 games, 227, the average. He's got 1 run batted in on the year. He's got Fernandez at second. Shows bunt there, and that one goes foul down the third base line.
I suspect he will try one more time. Mike McLeod, big fan of those sack bunts.
Yeah, especially with your catcher at the plate. A great player, but definitely not, the best hitter that you have in your order. I think I would agree that your best play right here is just try and move the runners over.
Looks like we have some type of injury over there at the second base position. They're making a substitution.
So they're going to take out Seth Rodriguez, looks like at second base, as he gingerly heads back to the dugout. We'll stay right here because it looks like they'll be ready to bring someone out soon, I would imagine.
I think it might be Hunter Keene replacing him. I thought I saw him run out there. Yeah, Keene's going in at short, and they're moving Relaford over to second.
So good call there. So Jevin Relaford moving from short over to second base. And Hunter Keene taking over at second base.
Oh,
Another throw over to first.
They got him.
And they picked him off over there.
It's a nice little bunt play right there. Faking as if the first baseman's going to run in to cover that bunt, have second base fill behind him, and then he quickly moves back.
So in 2 innings, that's already the second eagle thrown out on the bases. And so that'll leave it with Fernandez at second, and now 1 out for the catcher Kreisen. Still in a 0-1 count. So the bunt could still be in play. Gross looking back into second. Looks again. Now comes home. And that curveball a bit high for ball number 1.
I won't lie to you. I'm not really sure where that one missed. It looked like a pretty great front door curveball right there by Gross.
This particular home plate umpire reluctant to go upstairs with the strikes. I think that's been fairly consistent across both sides. Now the 1-1 is well outside, gloved nicely by Garavito, keeping Fernandez from moving on down to third. And now you've got a 2-1 count to Kreisen, who's at the plate. That one high in the air and out of play down the right side. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. As Mitchell Gross looking for his second strikeout of the day.
Gross is working very, very quickly. Something I don't really expect from most lefties, but he's really just getting his sign, checking that runner once, and going right back home.
That 2-2 blocked in the dirt by Garavito, and that moves the count full.
Kreisen's doing a great job of battling here after not getting that sack bunt attempt down. It would have been huge, though. 1 out, runners on first and second versus what could be runner on second, 2 outs.
The payoff pitch. Kreisen reached out for it and just poked it foul out of play. Protecting there with 2 strikes, and he'll have another 3-2 against Mitchell Gross.
Went with the power fastball right there. Might have been just off, but safe play there by Kreisen to protect.
Gross looks over to second a couple times. Now comes home, and that one fouled again.
What is this now going to be the 9th pitch of this at-bat maybe?
It's getting up there, and you add the injury kind of delay on top of that. This has been a lengthy at-bat.
Both pitchers really battling through these innings, even though there hasn't been much runners on base to show for it.
This 3-2 in the air, and once again, it will go out of play. A lot of souvenirs out there on the right side outside Eagle Field.
You know what my old baseball coach used to call foul balls out of play?
What's that?
Not quite souvenirs. That's $5. $5
It-
at least nowadays.
Another 3-2, and got the swing and a miss there. Got him to chase on the off speed. And now with 2 away, Fernandez still at second. That's the first baseman, Makai Johnson.
Makai Johnson.
So Mitchell Gross wins that lengthy battle.
Johnson over here sporting and a batting average below the Mendoza line currently. Let's see if he can try and kick that up right now.
And by quite a bit at 0.77 and 13 at-bats. Cut and a miss. That first pitch.
Whatever that pitch is, hitters are not reading it so far. We've been told it looks more like a curve, maybe slider, but from my point of view, it might be just a changeup that's fallen right off that table.
Makai Johnson got his first hit of the year, a double on Friday against Shelton State. That one is taken low.
What an important double that was too. Really started that onslaught.
Absolutely. So a big hit there. One here would give TCC the lead. Fernandez will be running on contact with 2 outs. That one put in the air foul. So another $5 out of the ballpark.
It was much worse back in high school because one of the fields we always used to play, I just had straight up forests around. So it was just always $5. You're never getting that ball back.
And here at Eagle Field, you look beyond the outfield wall, a lot of trees. You're not getting those home run balls. There's water moccasins back there. That is not a place you want to be. As that one is fouled out of play this time down the left side. Or will it stay in? No.
The wind over there really halting balls from quickly going out of play. I think that's what we saw in the top half of this frame.
Yeah, you saw that play with Zeth Rodriguez and what will be his final at-bat of the game, popping out to the third baseman Fernandez. It looked like it was going to go out of play towards the dugout of TCC. Then you see Fernandez racing back into play, and you'll see that flag out in center field pick up from time to time. The wind is whipping up there, I believe, and is playing an effect in some of these fly balls. This one to Makai Johnson, called strike 3. So again, TCC getting the leadoff man aboard. They do get him in scoring position this time, but leave him there. We're through 2 full, still scoreless. Brett Gwynn back on the mound when we come back. The center fielder, Zeb Marquise, in the 9-hole for Santa Fe today. Will get this third inning underway.
Very quick work by Gwynn last inning. Let's see if he can keep that up here in the top of the third.
First one from Gwynn, called a strike. Just a little bit of housekeeping. We saw Zeth Rodriguez in the 8-hole playing second, taken out of the game during the bottom of the second. He's out. Hunter Keene replaces him at number 8 in the batting order, and he takes over at second base and Jevin Relaford, who's in the leadoff spot, was playing short, moves over to second.
Leaves that curve just a little high. That first pitch, though, beautiful. Once again, first pitch curveball. These hitters should not be swinging at that pitch. And once again,
that one gets a call on the outside. So the home plate umpire willing to widen up that zone a little bit horizontally, not as much vertically. So seems to be the pretty common theme so far this year. 1-ball, 2-strike count to Zeb Marquise to open the inning. And fouls that one straight back.
and you know, personally as a pitcher, I would have much rather preferred the home plate umpire going wider than taller. I was always someone to paint the edges and not so much challenge people high. I also didn't throw as hard, but still.
Part of the game for sure is knowing kind of what day it's going to be and adjusting to that. Ethan Kreisen, I think, has done a terrific job this year of doing just that. Sets up outside for that 1-2 pitch and gets a called strike 3. So that's punch out number 2 on the day for Brett Gwynn and turns the lineup back over for Jevin Relaford.
That was a great call right there by you, partner. Beautiful outside pitch, perfectly framed by Kreisen.
Relaford started the game with a pop out to short where we saw the shortstop Smetkowski go all the way really in shallow right to take that pop out. That first one put high in the air. The center fielder Pagozo's going to go back and make a running grab out on the warning track for out number 2.
Pagoza out there looking like a flashback to 2005 Lorenzo Cain, former TCC alum.
And Josh Pagozo, I think, at some point could be playing at a pretty high level. We've seen the start that he's had to this season. Getting some buzz, no doubt. I think especially when Panhandle Conference play begins, he's going to be a guy that a lot of people start learning that name because he is one heck of a ball player. We've seen it with the bat all season, and you saw there with the leather making a running grab out in center field. That first one put in the air to Pagozo again, comes in this time and makes the catch for an easy out number 3. So Brett Gwynn getting settled into this game. He's retired the last 8 batters he's faced. Still in a scoreless game. We head to the bottom of the 3rd.
Number 19, the left fielder, Caleb Absher.
Caleb Absher, the left fielder, stepping in for this Eagles half of the 3rd inning. Gross back out for inning number 3 as that fastball fouled back and gets through that hole in the screen. I don't know if that ripped the hole or if it was already there, but clings along the bleachers.
Man, my event and facility professor would not be happy with that. That is a liability.
That 0-1 breaking ball buckles him for strike 2. Absher this season, 26 at-bats, sporting an .077 average himself. Him and Mackay both coming in with that number. And as they appeal down
Wow. No appeal. Home plate umpire really just took control.
Looked like he pointed down, but maybe that was him raising the fist. So a couple of calls that puzzled me a little bit, just as far as you didn't know kind of what he was signaling. But Absher heading back to the dugout. That's 3 straight strikeouts for Mitchell Gross dating back to the second.
That was a bit egregious, I won't lie. I really don't think he went at all. And you have an umpire over there for that call.
And Absher with a tough start to his season, 26 at-bats, 16 strikeouts. So that's a tough break for him there. And that first pitch to Justin Cruz in the 9-hole is called a strike. Cruz this year 273 in 22 at-bats. Has played nearly every game at second base. Seems like when Cruz gets the day off, it'll be Makai Johnson over there at second, and then they'll bring in someone else to play first, whether that be Brett Gwynn or I think they've had a couple of other guys try out that spot as well. That pitch is cut on and missed.
I really want to say that's got to be a changeup. That little circle change, just fastball, 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 poof, gone. I mean, they're just swinging right over it.
Catcher sets outside, blocked in the dirt by Garavito.
It's been a real strong start to the day for Gross, really looking like he wants some vengeance for last time.
Pitching really well at the bottom of the order particularly. Can't get that call on the outside part. And I believe umpire just put up 3 and 2. That one popped high and out of play behind the press box.
Cruz holding his own up there. Will not let Gross get that 4th straight strikeout, hopefully. Oh.
And I think you jinxed him there.
Dang.
So Justin Cruz, swing and a miss. He's out on strikes. That's the 4th in a row for Gross, as Max just said. And now the lineup turns back over to the top, and Jason Smakoski, who got his day started with a base hit.
You know, as I was saying it, I was already regretting it.
That's been a season-long tradition thus far in the booth. A lot of jinxes. First pitch is Smakoski, called a strike.
Just a beauty. Nothing more beautiful than a left-handed curveball. Of course, back in high school, I would have said nothing more scary than a left-handed curveball.
That one a little bit off the plate, and that'll take it to 1-1.
I'll never forget facing a former MLB pitcher as a 6th grader, making you fall down.
Oh, big cut and a miss there. So who was it?
It was Coach Scott Air, one of the greatest coaches I've ever had in my life. Real good friend of mine. Won a ring with, the 2008 Phillies.
Put a dagger in my heart as a Rays fan.
Yep. Conflicting emotions seeing that World Series ring.
That's for sure. This one from Gross. Big cut and a miss. And Mitchell Gross has just struck out the side here at Eagle Field. Gets Cruz and Smakoski down swinging. 5 straight strikeouts for him. We're through 3 full, still scoreless here at Eagle Field. You're watching Eagles Baseball on TCCEagles.com. Top of the fourth here, J.P. Harrells to get things started. He singled in his first time. 0-0 game through 3 innings of play. Just a bit of contrast. That February 2nd game in Gainesville, at this point through 3, Santa Fe was leading 6-3.
As the outfield shifts a little bit.
Playing him to pull easily, as that one is called a strike. Got Smikoski probably as close to the second base bag as you'll see him this year. At outfield shifted to the right as well.
How do you feel about shifting big time? Big fan of it or against it?
Watching a lot of Rays games, I'm in favor of it only because it seems like it's pretty much always successful for them, as that one is through the shift for a leadoff single.
And as a fellow Rays fan, I am not necessarily a big fan of it for that exact reason. That should have been a ground out to Smikoski.
So finds a soft spot in the defense there, and it's like we were putting him on cue. That'll bring up the catcher, Santiago Garavito. That was that ground ball right to first base that kind of made you take a double take, as Mekhi Johnson struggled getting that one in for an out. Move the runners over as well. That first one hit well to right. Mitchum going back there, and that's going to be fair, I believe. No, just foul. About as close to the line as they come.
Garavito right there, searching for his 6th double of the season right there, but he's only got 5, and he's still leading the Santa Fe Saints. That one was real close right there.
So that one goes the Eagles' way. Gwynn checks back over at first. Now comes home on the 0-1. Fastball swung on and missed for strike 2.
Harrells doesn't look like the biggest steal threat out there, but he did have a pretty hefty lead over there.
Maybe trying to catch this defense off guard a little bit. Trying to turn a double, or no. Yeah, trying to turn a double play. If you could. Here's the throw back to first.
Got real lucky. Got to slide. Got to slide back into that bag.
Yeah, I heard some chirps out of that Eagle dugout wanting to get that call. And that was a pretty nonchalant step back into first for Harrells, I would have to say. And now the 0-2. Fouled back.
Thankfully, there was netting there that time. But 0-2 count here for Gwynn, looking to put away Garavito, one of their stronger hitters on this Saints ball club.
Just under 300 on the year. Another 0-2 coming up from Gwynn. That one high in the air, staying in play. Right fielder Mitchum comes in. He's calling for it, and it's into his mitt for out number 1.
Now batter, right fielder, number 16.
Great job there by Gwynn, just focusing on the batter, getting the out on at hand, and now we move up for Dylan Mock.
Mock popped out to first. 0 for 1 against Gwynn so far today.
Been a real pitching duel here so far, as both stallions, as the Rays like to call them, are pitching well to this point.
In the bottom of this fourth, it will be Mitchum, Pagozzo, and Fernandez for TCC. That first one, a Mock into him and fouled along the hands down the third base side.
Bit of an early start here for Eagle baseball, as we've recently been having 4 o'clock games. Today we might have a little bit of trouble when it comes down to the late innings with the sun setting.
The sight lines do get a little bit trickier with the shadows coming in, particularly out in left field. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that as that progresses. That one gloved, backhanded in the dirt by Ethan Kreisen.
The weather's starting to turn a little hot here, and I'm not so fond of it. I wish it'd stay a little cold.
Tallahassee in this time of year known for its kind of sporadic weather. One day it'll be 40, the next day it'll be 77. That one, it may be high and inside to Mock. Moves it to 2-1.
As Gwen's really slowed down his pace here, hoping to get that ground ball to put an end to this inning.
Looking to turn their first double play of the day. This one from Gwynn, fouled back. That same spot along the screen has been a popular place. A lot of foul balls so far this game.
No solid contact, which I mean is just complete polar opposite of what happened last time around, with each team getting 13 hits apiece in their last meeting on February 2nd.
A team in Santa Fe that was number 16 in the country in the preseason poll. As that one is laced into right and making a running catch, diving headfirst for Dave Mitchum for out number 2.
Maybe a little unnecessary there, but better safe than sorry.
Can't go wrong putting a little flourish on the play. And with 2 outs, Harrell's at first. That'll bring up the left fielder, Jacob Guthrie. Lined one into the glove as Makowski his first time.
You know, Mitchum just trying to look good for the fans here as it's starting to fill up a little bit.
Healthy crowd here at Eagle Field on this now late Wednesday afternoon. First one into Guthrie. Curveball taken as Guthrie has to duck underneath it.
You know, Gwynn, when he's on top of that curveball, it's really nasty and it's freezing hitters. But when he's just babying it a little bit, it's just hanging high, and this ump will not give that call to him.
Second pitching appearance of the season, trying to hit his stride here against a really solid Santa Fe team, as that one is fouled off to make it, I believe, 1-1.
Real strong start again by both sides. Not too much going on, but pitchers overcoming some minor issues, to say the least.
Yeah, Gwynn had runners at second and third in the first, and since then, not a lot doing. As that one swung on and missed.
That was a great pitch right there. I don't think that was the curve. Must have been maybe a spiked fastball or a changeup that just had him guessing.
Looking for the put-away pitch to end this top of the fourth. Checks quickly on Harrell's over at first. Now comes home. And a swing and a miss on the fastball outside. Guthrie is out on strikes, and that ends the inning. A leadoff single for Harrell's, and the Saints leave him there. How we head to the bottom of the fourth. Eagles still looking for the first score of this game.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges, eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
Dave Mitchum, who had a couple of putouts in the top of this inning, starts the bottom of the fourth. Mitchum, Pagozzo, Fernandez. So a pretty solid chance, one might think, of finally putting some offense up on the board. Eagles getting their second look through the order against Mitchell Gross. That first one swung on and missed, and worth noting, in case you forgot, Mitchell Gross striking out the last 5 batters he's faced.
Yeah, a lot of swings and misses so far. Let's see if Mitchum can really turn that around and find some solid contact.
That 0-1 taken a bit high, so a couple of fastballs to start him off here.
A little bit of anger right there by Gross with his catcher. A little bit of an off-target return throw.
The 1-1 shows bunt. I think goes back to the backstop. But either way, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I was going to make a bet with you. I was going to say this inning's got a bunt written all over it.
0-0 game. Looking to scratch and claw for any offense you can find. Here's a 1-2 to Mitchum. That one is high.
You know what? The Eagles have done a really good job today, not chasing too much outside the zone. They're just getting overpowered right now by Gross.
The 2-2 put on the ground at third base. Campbell's got it. His long throw to first is in time for out number 1.
Campbell nearly let that ball eat him up, squeak right under his glove, but was able to collect it and make a strong throw to first for the quick first out.
And that will bring back up Josh Pagozzo. Josh struck out swinging his first time. 14 hits on the year, 7 doubles, 3 triples, and a home run. 8 runs batted in on the year. Swinging away on the first pitch, the center fielder Marquise goes out and makes a running catch out in left center field for out number 2.
Just a little too much loft under that ball. Otherwise, it would have gotten down for most likely more extra base hits.
Quickly, 2 outs, base is empty for Andrew Fernandez. Hit a leadoff single in the second. Marco Dingus on deck, who also has a hit if Fernandez can get aboard. First pitch to him, buckles him for strike 1.
Just a beauty. Absolute beauty right there.
That one fouled out in front of the plate. Now 0-2.
I say you got to go to that well once more. He's really not picking up this curveball, and those were 2 good ones.
6 strikeouts on the day for Gross. The 0-2 fouled out of play on the right side.
What do you expect now?
I don't know. It seems like whatever he's going to is working pretty well. Another 0-2 pitch. Gave him the off speed there. That one chopped on the ground to Relaford. His throw to first is low, but caught for out number 3. So the Eagles go down in order once again. They've been retired in order in the last couple of innings now through 4 full, still scoreless. You're watching Eagles baseball on tcceagles.com and YouTube. New pitcher out for the Eagles. It's the lefty Jack Thunberg, and now I toss it over to the one and only Brett Rutherford. He's going to talk about the Eagles in action on the hardwood tonight in Pensacola.
Yeah, William, very exciting week coming up here for TCC men's basketball. They've rattled off back-to-back conference wins on the road at Chipola and at home against Northwest Florida State. They've now beaten on the season the top 3 teams in the Region 8 coaches poll. That's Indian River State, Chipola, and Northwest Florida State. And they've done the last 2 consecutively. You know, now you're looking at their record in conference. They're 4-6. We know in the state tournament this year there are a couple at-large bids at play. And with 2 games remaining for this men's basketball team, they're at Pensacola State tonight. They host Gulf Coast State on Saturday in the regular season finale. And what a great pitch there from Thunberg.
So thank you. TCC in action tonight at 8:30 against Pensacola State. How can we watch that game?
Yeah, tonight they're going to be at Pensacola State. Pensacola State's YouTube channel will have the game. It'll also be on the Pensacola State website. These 2 teams have played some low-scoring, junkyard defensive games. The Eagles won 52-51 when they went there the first time. Then Pensacola State held the Eagles to just 39 points at home, one of the lowest point totals that I've seen TCC put up in a home game. So you definitely think they're going to come out looking for that revenge tonight. That's Pensacola State's only conference win on the season. So, if you're looking at this, you'd expect the Eagles to win, but I wouldn't expect this to be a high-scoring affair. And if they do, I think it sets up a really big game on Saturday in that regular season finale, where if they win, they get to 6-6 in conference play. I think there's a really good chance that they could sneak into that Region 8 tournament, that state tournament, and continue their season. And, William, I think that's like something a couple of weeks ago we might not have even had an expectation of, but to see them grow to this point where they can go on the road and win a game by 11 points, I should add, hold Chipola to 45 points on their home court, that's a huge step that this team has taken. Then you saw them score 71 against Northwest Florida State, finding different ways to score, finding Anthony Thomas really getting back to his scoring ways. Sets up 2 really big games to conclude the season. The first one's going to be tonight at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Will be played in Pensacola. But definitely one I'll be tuning into on Pensacola State's channels, and I recommend that all Eagles fans do. If they win, I'd love to see everybody at the Eagle Dome on Saturday evening for the regular season finale.
Really exciting to see that team not only just have a really strong finish to their season, winning at Chipola and against Northwest Florida State, who's one of the best teams in the country, but as you said, to give themselves that chance at some postseason play. So thank you, Brett, for that update on the team.
You're welcome, William, and I just hope that we can get some runs here on the board. It's a really different type of game than we saw in Gainesville, and these 2 teams played the other day. Game that finished 12-10 in favor of the Eagles now into the 5th, and no runs on the board. What's up with that?
I don't know. 3 of the 5 home runs on the year for TCC came in that game in Gainesville, so maybe they can find that those bats to come back alive here, hopefully in a hurry.
Yeah, we got to give credit to Brett Gwynn and now Jack Thunberg, who's in the game and has recorded 2 quick outs. Pitching really well thus far for the Eagles. I hope that continues, but the bats come around. Maybe we'll get a big hit from our guy Josh Pagozo, who's been killing it out in center field. Maybe Caleb Abshire gets a hold of one. But I'm just enjoying watching this pitcher's duel right now.
That one is laced line down the left. Abshire, who was shifted over to his right, having to race over to get it. Took the wide turn at first, was the 9-man Zeb Marquise, but he'll scamper back into first for a 2-out single. So Max Rundy back on the headset. So to open this top of the 5th, a strikeout of the DH Billy Graham got Hunter Keene, who came into play as a defensive substitution, popped out into that deep foul territory over there in the first baseline, and now a 2-out single as the lineup turns back over to the top, and Jevin Relaford, who's today 0 for 2. Got the lefty Jack Thunberg on the mound. Move over to third. Makai Johnson making a leaping grab to go get that baseball. The final line on the starter, Brett Gwynn, 4 innings pitched scoreless, allowed just 2 hits, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. So that's now 6 2/3 of nearly perfect baseball from Brett Gwynn. So a guy that's played really well at first base. He's a great bat, and I think he's proven himself to be a pretty darn good pitcher as well. Throw down to second base is off target, and that is going to allow Marquise to get down to second base, and with that, the Saints have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
And really would have had to have a perfect throw to get him right there. That was a good jump, good read against the big lefty, but really no shot at getting him, I would say.
Yeah, you get your center fielder, your 9-hitter on base. I mean, it's pretty kind of clear what they want to do with that, so they send him in motion and they get him into second base safely. He takes a pretty solid lead off his second. Relaford calls time, and now you got your leadoff man with a chance to drive in the first run of the game.
We're really just grateful he didn't start at second base after a great play by Abshire to get that ball in quickly on that frozen rope.
That one outside.
Right there, he opened up his glove side arm way too early, missed outside because of it.
He's had a few misses to that left-handed batter's box so far today. A couple of nice gloved kind of saves by Ethan Kreisen. Cruz backs out of second base. Runner goes down to third. Kreisen throws down there, and he's safe at third base. So a couple of stolen bags get Zeb Marquise 90 feet away from the first run of this game.
Thunberg just really not doing a great job of checking his runners, and really once again almost no shot with the right-handed bat in the at the box. And I mean no fault at all to Kreisen and his work on that play. At least throw to second might have been a little bit better. You could have asked for slightly more accurate, but once again I think the runner was there.
You saw the speed of Marquise there. I mean, there's a reason he's in center field. He is wheeling around the base path here. This one is called a strike to Relaford, so a nice call to get Jack Thunberg on the right side of things. Just need one more out.
Big moment in this game right here.
That one put on the ground. Smezkowski making a diving attempt but couldn't get to it. It would have been really tough for him to get the throw to first even if he had gotten it in his glove. And either way, that's going to be an RBI single for Jevin Relaford, and that gives the Saints now a 1-0 lead.
It's almost like we got a script up here, the way we be calling this game.
That'll bring up Wyatt Campbell today, 0 for 2, but if you'll recall, back in the top of the first, got down to first base on a wild pitch following a strikeout.
Finally, someone gets on the board here in the top of the fifth. Hopefully the Thunberg can get out of this and the Eagles can answer right back.
That first pitch high, Kreisen fakes over to first. For Thunberg heading into this appearance, 4 2/3 with a 1.93 ERA. So not a guy that they throw into a whole lot of high leverage situations, but he has been pretty effective when he comes into games. Gives up the first run of the ball game here in the fifth. Middle of the order coming up for the Eagles in the bottom half of this frame. As I imagine, no question, it's got to be Mitchell Gross coming back out. That one put high in the air. Pagozzo's going to come in for it, and he'll make the easy catch there for out number 3, but not before Santa Fe gets on the board with a 2-out RBI single from their leadoff man, Relaford. So we head to the bottom of the fifth. Eagles now trailing. You're watching Eagles Baseball on TCCEagles.com.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
Bottom of the fifth here, the DH Marco Dingus coming to the plate. He's 1 for 1 with a single, but did get picked off at first base. It'll be Dingus, Kreisen, Johnson, and to no one's surprise, really, the left-hander Mitchell Gross out now for his 5th inning of work. He's got 3 appearances, 2 5-inning starts, and his last one against Polk State was a 6-inning start, as that one is popped high in the air. The left fielder Guthrie is going to, I don't think he made it. Did not make the catch.
Must have lost in the sun, just like we were talking about earlier. Those shadows really affecting over there right now.
Absolutely, as that sun beginning to set on the west side. Shadows behind those trees taking over and left. That makes it a really tough play, especially in that spot in foul territory. So I would probably call that an E7 and keeps the at-bat alive for Marco Dingus.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a big mistake right there. Come back to hurt him.
First error on the board, I believe.
Let's see if he can capitalize on that extra opportunity here, but quickly down 0-2.
That one down and in, and a sliding grab by Garavito. 2 balls, 2 strikes is actually the count. Santa Fe, or the Eagles gave Santa Fe an extra out in the first inning of this game, and now seemingly with after that E7, the Saints giving the Eagles an extra out. Can they do anything with it? Ground ball to Relaford. His throw to first in time. So a nice play by the shortstop, now turned second baseman, to kind of take that nasty hop off the infield dirt and throw out Marco Dingus.
Real awkward position to be fielding the ball as a right-handed thrower, because he had to get his glove all the way up to his right armpit almost. Tough play to make, but handled it smoothly.
Now it will be Ethan Kreisen, struck out in his first time against Mitchell Gross. Big cut and a miss there for strike 1. Pinch hitter at the plate, actually Jacob Von Thaden, so a straight switch over at the catcher position. Take strike 2 there.
Von Thaden on the season hitting 143 in 14 at-bats, alongside 2 doubles.
Big cut and a miss on the pitch in the dirt there. Throw down to first is good to complete the strikeout for out number 2. And with 2 outs and the bases empty, that brings up Makai Johnson, who himself is struggling. So, Max, I'll throw this out to you. I mean, assuming there's nothing wrong with Ethan Kreisen, I mean, what's kind of the thought process? You got another righty at the plate, so it's not like you're getting righty-lefty. Is it just to get a different look at a pitcher that's just dealing out of his mind?
It's got to be. With someone who's controlling the game as much as Gross is right now, as a slow tapper back to the pitcher.
And he tosses to first to complete the out. So 1-2-3 inning. We'll complete that conversation and more with the Eagles now trailing through 5. Jack Thunberg out for inning number 2. He's on the mound talking to his new catcher, Jacob Von Thaden.
Yeah, like I was saying before the break, it's just to get a new bat up there, maybe throw something different to Gross, see if he can handle it well. And, there's also just the basic possibility that maybe Kreisen's a little tired. He's been catching a lot of baseball.
That's
he
true.
He really has.
Still early on in the season. We're 10 games in, but still takes a while to, especially at the catcher position, get those legs under you. First pitch to Harrells is low and outside. And it seemed like maybe there were a couple of exchanges between Thunberg and Kreisen that seemed maybe a little offline, so maybe you just try and get a different tandem here. That one a little bit high now, 2-0.
Thunberg, he's really loose with that glove side hand right now. Really needs to bring it in, control that arm so it doesn't affect the location of his pitches.
Got a strike called there on the outside. It makes sense to leave him on here, lefty on lefty against Harrells. I think I do see a couple of guys getting loose in that Eagle bullpen, so I don't know if it'll be one and done, but you could definitely see that being the case as that one is fouled quickly at a play down the left side. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count.
Bit of a unique windup we got here for Thunberg. It's a little wacky, I won't lie, and I think that might be to credit why I feel like he's opening up that glove side hand, but maybe not so much. Maybe it's just his unique windup.
That 2-2 pitch, big cut and a miss there. So Thunberg got him to chase the off speed and a strikeout to open the 6th.
That was a great pitch right there. Really, really had him on edge.
Brings to the plate now the catcher, Santiago Garavito, who today is 0 for 2. Looks like Thunberg is going to stay on, so the one and done not in play. Time called. That first pitch to him called a strike.
It's a bit of a weird development I just realized. The Santa Fe Saints did their lineup today without Gabriel Esquivel. One of their leading hitters has 6 home runs on the season.
That is curious. Is that one high in the air? Pagozzo in center running it down, and he'll make the catch out there in left center for out number 2. Maybe an injury, maybe, I don't know. Sometimes in these midweek games, you just want to get guys days off. So who knows? But that is something definitely to keep an eye on, that they're without maybe their best hitter in the lineup to the tune of only 1 run over now almost 6 innings.
Something to worry about late in the game if he gets up off that bench too.
That's a great point. That first one to Dylan Mock called a strike. He's 0 for 2.
Middle of the order have not provided much help for this Saints ball club, but then again, not many hitters all day for either side have been doing up to much.
There's one outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Von Thaden looking for a quick and clean inning. It'll be the 8-9-1 hitters for the Eagles in the bottom of the 6th. Absher, Cruz, and Smakowski. As that one fouled quickly straight back for strike 2.
Thunberg really controlling himself a lot better here, just attacking the zone.
Yeah, nice adjustment coming off of that 5th, where he gave up that run to Santa Fe. Looking for the put away of this inning. Here's the 1-2. And that one launched high in the air. Pagozzo runs back, and that one is out of the ballpark. 2 outs, base is empty. A home run for Dylan Mock, and that makes it now a 2-0 game.
Well, in my first ever call of a game, I might be my last, the way I've been jinxing us recently. Talking about the middle of the order not providing much help. Talk about Mock not doing much, and Thunberg really looking like an improved pitcher, and then boom, we got a 2-0 ball game here.
That's a tough break for sure. Mock, his 2nd extra base hit of the year. And circles them all for the 2nd run of this game. Now it'll be Jacob Guthrie 0 for 2 with a strikeout, and that one is going to get a piece of him, and he'll head down to first base on the hit by pitch. So now things unraveling a little bit for Jack Thunberg.
With the lefty up, though, I'm sure they would like to keep him out there for at least one more batter.
The lefty DH, Billy Graham, 0 for 2 with a strikeout as well. And he did face Billy Graham to start the fifth, and did get him to strike out. So I would like to see a replication of that here. First pitch to him, fouled just over the screen on the left side.
This is important out here as that 2-out rally, ever so dangerous.
They did it in the fifth, and they did it here in the sixth. 2-out offense, big for the Saints here today. Von Thaden sets outside. That one is put in the air. Right fielder Mitchum goes back, and that one is over his head into the wall for at least two. Throw back in, cut off by Cruz, and he's going to go to third, so the run scores. Jacob Guthrie going from first to home on the RBI double by Billy Graham, and that extends the Santa Fe lead now to 3-0.
Right there, just the right idea with that off-speed pitch, but just hung it right there. It was a little low, but right where Billy Graham liked it as he really ripped a solid double into the gap.
Looks like that's going to be a tough end of the day for Jack Thunberg as he hands the ball to his skipper, Mike McLeod. New pitcher on for the Eagles. We'll tell you about him when we come back. New pitcher on for the Eagles is the 6'3" right-hander Carlos Rodriguez. Takes over for Jack Thunberg, who finishes with 1 2/3, 4 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts, 3 earned runs for now, but he's responsible for the runner at second, Billy Graham, so if he comes, that'll be a 4th earned run, but hopefully Rodriguez will be able to get the final out of this 6th inning. It will be Hunter Keene in for his second at-bat of the game, popped out in that deep foul territory down the first base line to Mekhi Johnson. Carlos Rodriguez on the year 1-0. Got a win in that doubleheader against Hillsborough Community College. At first one, Tequine is outside. Rodriguez 1-0 on the year, 5 1/3 innings of work, and a .675 earned run average as he's given up 4 runs over those 5 innings.
Rodriguez reigns from Tampa and Sickles High School as he's a real classic hard-throwing, little bit wild right-handed pitcher.
Looks back to second. Now comes home with that strong fastball. Nearly put a hole through the glove of Jacob Von Thaden.
Trying to recall what his windup looks like. Just a classic chucker up there.
Time called as Rodriguez was trying to roll through the signs.
You know what it is? Without the arm slot, he's got a little bit of that Pat Neshek, I believe it was his name. Without the sidearm so much, but just more of that real whippy windup.
You do kind of, yeah, see it snap out of his hand as there's a strike called.
As the shadows start to creep in a little bit more, but probably not as much as they would on most game days.
The 2-1 outside.
Still 2 down here, top of the 6th, as the Santa Fe Saints have put home 2 runs this inning, making it a 3-0 game.
Eagles certainly have their work cut out for him against who I would presume to be Mitchell Gross, back out for a 6th. We'll have to see as that one's fouled back on the screen. No one warming up in that Saints pen, so I think Santa Fe's head coach Johnny Wiggins would tend to be in agreement.
You do have to worry a little bit, though, after such a long wait, long rest on the bench, that his arm might be getting a little tired, but there's been no cracks in his armor any time recently.
And 6 innings would match his season long, as there's another 3-2 put into play, and it's going to get through the left side of the infield past Zmatkowski. They get the throw in, the third in time, so it'll be runners at the corners now with 2 outs for the 9-man Zeb Marquise.
Real interesting read right there by Billy Graham, as he should have been running on contact, but really just retreated back to the bag thinking they'd get the lead out at third, but the ball got through, and he's still standing on third instead of making this a 4-0 game.
Yeah, you're right. With 2 outs, you got to just be going there. And now, Zeb Marquise, 1 for 2 with a 2-out single with nobody on in the 5th. Ended up being the first run of this ball game. So the pitch to the man that started it all. That one a bit high and outside.
And he really started it with his feet. The way he moved around those bases.
Showing those wheels. I mean, if you're a center fielder for essentially a top 15 team in the country, I mean, he was showcasing it right there, that speed tool. That 1-0 hit well. Pagozzo's going to go out and make a diving grab, and he's got it. Keeps probably a couple more runs off the board.
Phenomenal play out there by Pagozzo. Really just tracked down that ball and quickly made the play.
And so now as we head to the bottom of the 6th, Eagles trail 3-0.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges, eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
Caleb Absher to get this Eagles side of the 6th inning started. And Mitchell Gross retiring the last 11 Eagles hitters that he's seen.
And correct me if I'm wrong, we'd have to go back to the Middle of the second, Marco Dingus, the last Eagle to reach base.
And was then thrown out, picked off at first base.
It's really been the turning point of this game, I would say, even though it took a little while for the Saints to get on the score column. That was a big inning started, all but canceled.
That 2-0 pitch fouled back to the very top of the screen. So Mitchell Gross's last start went 6. He's trying to match that season long. Started Dingus off quickly, or Absher rather, 2-0. Was that 2-1 pitch? Misses, making it 3 balls and 1 strike.
You can see he's a little tired out there, affecting his location, but his speed looks to be up with what it was all game.
That one outside, ball 4, and that's what you want to see, a leadoff walk worked by Caleb Absher.
And you know, that ball could have been caught a lot better. It may have been a ball, yes, but there's no doubt about it. Garavito could have framed that ball a little bit better. Granted, he did miss position. He did miss his location.
Justin Cruz 0 for 1. That's the first walk of the day issued by Mitchell Gross. Now you got the 9-man Cruz at the plate. That first one misses outside, so now we may really have something here. Absher, by the way, really a 3 true outcome player. 2 home runs, 9 walks, 16 strikeouts coming into the game.
Now, you don't want to overreact, but that's almost 6 straight balls, 6 out of 7, I believe. And nobody's stretching or even considering getting ready over there for Santa Fe. That's an interesting move, I would say.
Catcher Garavito is going to come out to have a little chat with them. And I would imagine if the alarm bells aren't already going off that they would be now. We'll see. We'll let you know as soon as we see someone tossing the ball around in that right field bullpen.
Such a shame, too. He'd been going so strong, but that long delay like we were talking about, and now coming back, facing the bottom of the order, should have just been attacking him straight up, but really touching the corners a little bit.
That's exactly right. A walk, leadoff walk to the 8-man, and now a 2-0 count to the 9-hitter. That's certainly not the landing spot you want, as he does get a called strike on that outside part there, 2-1.
Now, all of this can be just wiped away with one pitch, one ground ball.
Well, don't say that, Max. Come on now. With what you've done today?
It's just you got to tell the people. And I do acknowledge I've been a little unfortunate for those TCC fans out there today with my calls, but
that one back along the left side, count even now. Or no, it actually goes full at 3-2.
Sun starting to shine into our eyes a little bit, but we'll persevere up here in this AC booth.
Would love to see Cruz pull one to left and just have Guthrie lose it in the sun out there. That would be a favorable outcome. With Absher, with that lead off the first base bag, now a quick throw in.
See, there was no chance of picking him off right there. That was a call from the catcher to just check over, maybe just for the heck of it, honestly.
Trying to keep the shutout intact. Santa Fe now with a 3-0 lead. Their starter Gross on the mound. That payoff pitch popped high in the air. It's going to stay in play. Shortstop runs over it and makes a diving catch. That's the shortstop turn second baseman Relaford. And he has to fall down to grab that one for out number 1.
That was a very tough play. Not only did he have to track that ball down, he did have to fight the sun a little bit too with the ball high looping up there, but really, really strong play there by Relaford.
Lineup turns back over for Jason Zmekowski. He's 1 for 2 today.
Zmekowski takes a high looping in curveball right there.
That one launched in the air. Center fielder Marquise goes back, and that one is going to get all the way to the wall. Runner rounds third. He's going to come across the score. Zmekowski goes for 3. The throw home, not in time. And an RBI triple by Jason Zmekowski gets the Eagles on the board.
Even with a great relay right there, they could not quite cut down the runner at home plate there as Makowski comes up big, puts TCC on the board early with nobody out, and right on cue, we see someone getting up in the pen.
Righty getting loose for the Saints. And nice real hustle by Makowski to get the third with only one out, so you can sack fly in potentially a second run here. Would love more than that, but at the very least, get yourself within one as there's a strike called on the outside to Dave Mitchum, who's today 0 for 2.
Bit of an interesting decision here by head coach Johnny Wiggins as he's brought his infield in.
Foul out in front of the plate. And now quickly 0-2. I believe that will probably push the infield back.
I guess not. I mean, they really just want to stop this run here, but up 2, bit of a questionable call. I can understand it, but not what I would have done.
The 0-2 from Gross is low, blocked in the dirt by Garavito.
And, you know, I just have to do it once today, Will. I'm surprised we haven't done it yet. That curveball was pretty gross by Gross.
Indeed it was.
No better place to miss. In the dirt, 0-2.
That one outside, gloved by Garavito, and now Mitchum, we've seen it do it once already, takes 0-2 and out at 2-2.
Gross is still battling up there.
Now puts that one in the air, sends the left fielder Guthrie back a little bit, and he loses that one, and it's going to get down for extra bases. 3-2 now your score. RBI double for Dave Mitchum, and TCC has the tying run in scoring position.
I really thought you called it there. I thought that was going to be yet another sac fly, bringing it to a 3-2 lead, or deficit, but just barely squeaks over Guthrie's head out there in left field.
Kind of a nonchalant read off the bat for Guthrie on a ball that ends up touching the warning track.
And you do see, though, that wind out in center, as shown by the American flag out there, has shifted a little bit to more north and south, carrying that ball a little bit.
And now the guy that you want in the plate in Josh Pagozzo, that first pitch is called for a strike. No one you'd rather have with a runner at second in a one-run game to try and give your team the tie. The 0-1 from Gross. Sets up outside, gets away from the catcher Garavito. Gets down to third, does Mitchum. And now with only one out, the tying run just 90 feet away.
This is just befuddling to me. How has there not been a mound visit yet? How are they not trying to talk him through this error? I mean, he is not looking good out there. He's has to be facing his last pitch or hitter.
Couple of right-handers warming up in that Saints bullpen. Now the 1-1. That one outside and dropped by the catcher Garavito, so good luck getting the strike call when it's out of your mitt. Now 2-1.
I have a sneaky feeling this is probably what happened to Gross last time. He just got a little bit too much of a leash by his head coach, and now it's all crumbling down.
It is kind of the same. The offense kicking in late in this ball game. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Big cut and a miss there for strike 2.
You can tell he was going for the fences right there, trying to take a 4-3 lead.
Absolutely. He's got 1 home run on the year. 7 doubles, 3 triples, 14 total hits in just 31 at-bats. The 2-2. And that one's going to get down for a base hit, and we've got ourselves a tie game. An RBI single from Josh Pagozzo. 3 straight hits, and we're knotted up at 3.
Wild turn of events here. Nobody could have saw it coming after those first 5+ innings by Gross, but here comes the manager, and his day's likely done as here comes a big righty.
Wiggins comes out to the mound, gets the ball from the southpaw Mitchell Gross, and he heads back to the dugout in a tie game. Big righty out for the Saints. We'll tell you about him when we come back.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges, eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
New pitcher on for Santa Fe, the big right-hander Jake Blair. This season, Blair is 1-1, 7 1/3 innings of work, an ERA just south of 9. And you've got your cleanup man and Andrew Fernandez, the switch hitter at the plate, with now the go-ahead run standing at first base in Josh Pagozzo after 3 consecutive RBI hits at the top of this order.
As another righty warms in the Saints bullpen.
That first one to Fernandez called a strike. And now all of a sudden, your A bullpen is back in. If you're the Eagles, imagine Carlos Rodriguez's day could be coming to a close. We'll see. I saw Campbell Cleveland getting loose on that left field bullpen for Tallahassee. The 0-1 is low, blocked with the glove by Garavito.
Blair, he's got a pretty big stature on him. Hard throwing righty. Not in for the power here, though. He's in for the finesse. We're trying the Santa Fe looking for a double play.
Runner goes, pitch outside, and the throw to second is offline, and a stolen base for Josh Pagozzo puts the go-ahead run now in scoring position.
That was Pagozzo's 7th steal of the season and only being caught once.
7 for 8. That's a pretty good start to your year swiping bags. And Josh Pagozzo, I mean, everything you want to look at has been absolutely aces for him. Now the 2-1. Swinging away right to the second baseman who goes to first for the out, moves the runner over, but now 2 outs. We'll leave it for Marco Dinges.
Yeah, Pagozzo really proved himself to be a true 5-tool athlete here, affecting the game in numerous ways.
Made a diving catch out there in center to take a couple of runs off the board. Big RBI single to tie the game. Stolen base. And now represents the Eagles' go-ahead run 90 feet away from home plate. That first pitch to Dinges outside for strike 1. Dinges 243 on the year.
The outfield is a little shallow and shifting him away, surprisingly enough.
They're going to pitch him away there, low and away for ball 1.
I'm very surprised by how shallow this outfield is right now. They're not going to be gunning him down at home plate on a single. This is Triple's alley right here.
Another pitch that nearly got away from Garavito as he dives out to his right to stop that. His throw into the pitcher, Blair gets away. And with the runner at third, that potentially could have been treacherous.
Maybe a little bit more heads-up baseball, and they'd have a lead right now. Or the runner would be cut down at home.
This one from Dinges ground right to Relaford at second base, whose throw to first is in time For out number 3, but not before the top of the order for the Eagles comes up huge. RBI triple for Zmetkowski, RBI double for Mitchum, and a game-tying RBI single for Josh Pagozzo. We're through 6 full, knotted up at 3. Brand new ball game here, top of the 7th. Saints return to their top of the order, and Jevin Relaford making a few putouts in the previous inning. Today, Relaford is 1 for 3 with an RBI single his last time. Carlos Rodriguez back out for another inning of work. Finished the final out of the 6th. First pitch to Relaford called a strike on the outside.
He's got a scary presence up there. He really does. Just the way he just whips that ball right in there.
That fastball a little bit low and away. This is a big spot, I think, for Carlos Rodriguez against, like I said, a top 15 team nationally coming into the year in a tie game in the late stages. If you want to be involved in high leverage situations, this is a spot where you need to succeed. The 1-1 gets another strike called there.
This is also, as we've been talking about a couple times throughout this game, a big point in the game for the Sun. The Sun is right in the eye of that first baseman looking over from shortstop and third.
That one is going to blop down in a shallow left for a leadoff single, so back-to-back hits for Relaford gets the Saints now in business. The go-ahead run aboard. And now Wyatt Campbell today, who's 0 for 3, comes to the plate.
No clear action down there for the Eagles, but there are bodies.
Yeah, I did see 21 Campbell Cleveland, I think, getting loose down there previously. I thought he was going to start this inning, but they decided to roll with Rodriguez for a little longer. That first one to Campbell, just a hair outside.
That right there would have been a great time for Kreisen to frame that ball a little bit better than Von Thaden.
Relaford faked. That went outside.
He's really considering it. There's no doubt.
Yeah, it looked like he was ready to take off. 2 balls, no strikes to count to Campbell, and that's part of it too. If you can get into the mind of the pitcher on the mound, you're going to help the guy at the plate. Throw over there.
That's what you like to see. Just tell him to relax. You're not taking this bag for me. Make sure he's aware you will throw the ball over to first base. Unlike John Lester.
The 2-0 to Campbell outside. With where Von Thaden was set up, that was going to be a tough one to try and frame. And so now
Here comes McLeod.
yeah, we've seen him do a couple of mid-at-bat pitching changes before. We'll see if he just wants to come out and talk to his right-hander. Von Thaden coming out onto the mound as well. Middle infield converging. And it looks like an Eagle pitcher is coming in. I believe that is Campbell Cleveland that was throwing those final warm-up tosses out in the left field bullpen. And it is. So, Eagles make a pitching change in the top of the 7th. We'll step aside while he gets warmed up. You're watching Eagles Baseball on TCCEagles.com and YouTube. Pitching change for the Eagles. It will be number 21, Campbell Cleveland. Carlos Rodriguez only recording 1 out in this ball game. Gives up a couple hits, no walks, no strikeouts. He's responsible for the runner at first base in Jevin Relaford. And now Cleveland coming in with a 3-1 count. And that is ball 4. And that pushes the potential go-ahead run to second base.
And Wyatt Campbell wins the battle of the Campbells. But that's a real tough spot to come in right there. Down 3-1. Not really a common practice you see from many managers.
Campbell Cleveland 2-1 on the year. Just under 11 innings of work, a 1.69 ERA, 7 strikeouts. Big cut and a miss there for J.P. Harrells, who's today 2 for 3.
Big lefty.
Get lefty on right here as well.
He looks like he's ready to mash. Oh, wow.
Now shows bunt. First baseman Mekhi Johnson comes in, and that pitch is low and inside.
You know, not very common. You see a 3-hole hitter square around regardless of the situation, especially someone who's gone 2 for 3, but I do like that decision here.
One and one the count. Cleveland inside move to second base, but no throw. Relaford running at second, Campbell at first. The 1-1. Tapped foul.
Appears as if that showing of bunt was merely a ploy.
Yeah, I mean, you got Mekhi Johnson nearly coming into to home plate there. That was a major crash from that side of the infield.
You know, as a former first baseman, I always like to get so close that they would feel bad to pull back and swing.
That one put on the ground. The shortstop Smiakowski racing over for it. Goes for the out to second, but it's dropped by Justin Cruz, and so everyone's safe. Bases loaded with nobody out.
It's got to be marked as an error.
Yeah, that goes down as an E4 that allows Campbell to get to second base. Harrells reaches on the fielder's choice.
Tough play. He's trying to make a quick decision and turn 2, but he's got to make sure he sees that ball into his glove.
And now you're in the biggest of all jams, bases loaded with nobody out for the cleanup hitter, Santiago Garavito today, 0 for 3. First pitch to him, swung on and missed for strike 1.
This is a scary sight for all TCC fans.
Tied at 3, top of the 7th. Campbell, Cleveland, one of the Eagles' better relievers. Trying to keep this game as close as possible. That one called a strike on the outside part. Now you've got an 0-2 count.
Getting this strikeout would be huge here. That way you no longer have to relinquish a run and you can straight up trade a double play for no runs scored.
That one lined out of play. So it will stay no balls, 2 strikes.
Looking for the put away here. Got to make sure Von Thaden can keep this ball in front of him if he spikes anything here, though.
The 0-2. Outside. Glove nicely by Von Thaden.
It was a good eye by Garavito right there, just trying to challenge him with a fastball off the plate, see if he chases. I'd like to see the off-speed of stuff here again, though.
That one inside. It's going to plunk him. And that walks in the go-ahead run. A hit by pitch, a run batted in for Garavito. Scores Relaford from third. Your score now 4-3. That run is charged to Carlos Rodriguez for those scoring at home. And now a chance to add on for Dylan Mock, who hit a home run in his last time at the plate.
I believe that's the second hit batter for the Saints today, as the last one came last inning, actually.
That first pitch fouled out of play by Mock.
Mock coming off a huge home run. Couldn't even imagine what he would do here if he went long again. I really shouldn't have said that.
Still no outs, bases loaded, 4-3 game, 0-1 pitch, low and away.
Wow. Wow. The ump's got to give him that one. It's a good pitch, good frame. Got to be a strike.
Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike to Dylan Mock, who chops that one into foul territory. So the runners return. It will be Von Thaden, Makai Johnson, Absher to bat in the Eagles' 7th, barring any substitutions, but certainly you could see that being the case. 1-2 pitch. That one high in the air, right fielder Mitchum going over to get it on the foul line, makes the grab, but a run is going to come across to score. Runner tacks from first and gets down to second as well, so everyone advances. Now 5-3 your score on the sac fly for Dylan Mock, and that'll be second and third with 1 out for Jacob Guthrie.
You know, that's a bit of a sloppy play there by Mitchum. As much as you don't need to keep a double play intact, it would be much nicer knowing it'd be first and third, have a force out at second, and not the possibility of 2 runs scoring on a single here. Get that ball in, get it to second, do what you can.
That one fouled back by Guthrie.
Infielders come in here, try and cut down that runner at home plate.
Here's the 0-1. Big cut and a miss for Guthrie to take it quickly to 0-2.
Beautiful pitch right there. Looks like a fastball low and away, and then just dives away.
The 0-2 delivery. Low in the dirt, blocked by Von Thaden.
It's a nice stop right there as he goes out and has a quick meeting.
Eagles trail here by 2 runs.
Pace of play has really slowed down here in the past 3 innings, but of course, runs will do that.
Infield coming in here. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got 3 out on strikes for the second time today. And now 1 out left to get in the 7th. It'll be Billy Graham, who is 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Takes out the sacrifice play with the runner at third. Still second and third, 2 outs. Huge at bat. That one put on the ground right to the first baseman, Mekhi Johnson, and he'll run over to the first base bag to retire Graham. So, 7th inning stretch time. Saints put up a couple of runs on the board. They now lead 5-3. Bottom of the 7th, TCC trailing now by 2. The catcher, Jacob Von Thaden, comes to the plate. Jake Blair back out for his second inning of work. Got the final 2 outs of the 6th inning, both ground balls to second base. Von Thaden today 0 for 1 with a swinging strikeout.
Shadows here have almost engulfed the entire field. Still first base stands in it, but that's all.
Probably got another half inning or 2 before it's completely the sun behind all those trees.
Still a beautiful day out here as all the clouds have moved away and it starts to get a little bit more chilly.
The 0-1 to Von Thaden. Misses low, evening the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Anything would help here. Just start a rally. Get this game back leaning in your favor.
Von Thaden, Johnson, Absher here in the Eagles' 7th as that one called a strike on the outside part.
This ump liked the outside corner to start the game. Really went away from it the past couple, though, I would say, and just gave one right there.
Blair looking for the first out of this inning. Garavito setting up outside and makes the grab there for strike 3 called. Von Thaden out on strikes for the second time this game. 1 out, bases empty for Mekhi Johnson today, who's 0 for 2 himself.
I believe Von Thaden must have been thinking that ball was a little up, but no reason to sit there doing nothing. Got to protect.
Mekhi Johnson's only hit of the year started a 5-run inning against Shelton State. So you would love to see something along those lines happen again here.
For the small stature, he really does have some pop in that bat, though, as he ripped that double in that gap last week.
The 0-1 from Blair. Outside.
Now, this is the question we had with the last time these two teams faced. Can this Saints bullpen shut the door? They really did not do that whatsoever last time around.
That's what let the team down. Certainly is that. There's a strike called on the inside. So the umpire, a real wide zone here. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Now to Mekhi Johnson. Blair comes home. And a cut and a miss there at another pitch inside. So 2 strikeouts to open the inning. 2 outs, bases clear now for Caleb Absher.
Mekhi right there had to chase that ball after the ump gave the previous pitch a strike, thinking, well, if you're going to call that a strike, this is probably a strike too, even though I don't believe either were real strikes, maybe a little bit. But
At first one, Absher misses high for ball 1. Absher walked in his last time, a leadoff walk, came across to score on the triple from Zmakowski. The 1-0 misses.
never mind.
Called for a strike. I mean, that glove was basically touching the dirt, and it was called a strike.
It was not framed well at all by Garavito, and this umpire might be trying to get home a little early. Who knows?
And another called strike.
I will say that was definitely a little bit further in and further up. You gotta be ready for this fastball, as Blair's just chucking him in there right now, and nobody's really contesting.
That one is grounded right up the middle and sneaks through for a base hit. So Absher with a 2-out single. Nice job to put that one in play and sneak it through the left side. And we'll bring up the 9-hitter Justin Cruz today, 0 for 2 as well.
Some bottom of the order magic would be clutch here for your Eagles, as one man is up, just stretching a little bit over there for the Saints, but really no action going on.
And that was Absher's only his 3rd hit of the season. Came into the game batting .077, so would love to get that bat alive. That first pitch to Cruz misses outside. I mean, he's been pitching outside of these right-handers all inning.
I mean, if I'm a pitcher right now and I'm seeing this umpire expand in that zone slowly but surely, you got to keep going out there.
The 1-0 from Blair. Runner goes, and there will be basically no play as Absher will stay at second base. I mean, that was a really late throw from Garavito, and it ends up getting away from everyone and trickling into shallow center, but it will just be a stolen base, a second by Caleb Absher, and that gets a run in scoring position.
Garavito has to be grateful his center fielder was paying attention right there, as that very easily could have been compounded into a runner on third base instead of just second.
Hitters count to Justin Cruz as that one is launched high in the air. First baseman Harrell's now the catcher Garavito, and he drops it out of his glove right in front of the Saints dugout, and that will continue the inning. A second error on a dropped foul ball for Santa Fe, and let's see if this time TCC can make him pay.
Garavito, big slugger up there for the Saints, but proven himself to be a little bit of Gary Sanchez recently.
Blair comes home to Cruz, puts that one in the air. The center fielder Marquise racing over for it, and that's going to get in the gap in right center, and a run will score. Cruz rounding second. He's going to go for third, and the throw not nearly in time, and the ball gets away. But Cruz will be content with an RBI triple.
There's two big facts about that play right there that jump out to me. One, as fast as Zeb Marquise is, he is playing this entire game way too shallow. That easily could have been held to at least a double, preferably even a single if he's shaded over that way. But double was given. Triple was awarded to him by a shallow center fielder. But you got to give Blair credit for making a strong play with his mind to still back up third base and be there for that ball and that overthrow.
One of Santa Fe's coaches comes out to talk to Jake Blair and the catcher Garavito, maybe given the time for some of the relievers warming up. Tobin Moran, the right-hander, is getting loose in that Saints bullpen. So an RBI triple by the 9-man Justin Cruz after a dropped foul ball puts the tying run at third base with 2 outs for the man of the hour, the shortstop Jason Zmekoski today. 2 for 3, had an RBI triple in the 6th. And let's see if in the 7th, the Eagles can once again tie this game. Speedy Cruz running at third, so if there's any funny business, he could potentially scamper home. The first one is Zmekoski, tapped foul along the third base line for strike 1.
This is a big moment in this ball game right here. Is once you get down to the final 2 innings, you really got your best arms out there to shut the door. No better chance than right now.
Blair on for his second inning of work, trying to finish it off. The 0-1 is misses. You saw Justin Cruz really come down that third base line in home. So taking at least a big lead off of that third base bag.
I noticed Garavito did a nice double take on that no call.
That 1-1 does drop in for a strike. And now 1-2 to Jason Zmekoski.
From our point of view, that looked like a carbon copy of the pitch before. I'm not really sure how the one before wasn't a strike, but that one gets the call.
The 1-2 pitch. Low in the dirt, blocked by Garavito. And that will level the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Great grip strength right there to hold those arms back and not commit.
Zmekoski's played all 10 games at shortstop for the Eagles this season. The 2-2 pitch is low, and now we've got a full count to the shortstop.
A walk would bring up Dave Mitchum, who's 1 for 3 on the day. Big double last inning.
The payoff pitch misses low in the dirt, ball 4. Zmekoski heads down to first with a walk. And that will bring up Dave Mitchum with runners at the corners. As Max said, he's 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Was the second run of the day for the Eagles.
You know, got to give a little credit right there to Justin Cruz for his activity down there on the third base line. Really, not that he's going to steal home, acted as if he was and might have thrown pitcher out of a loop.
Runners at the corners with 2 outs. That first pitch to Mitchum is called a strike. Cruz at third would be the tying run. Zmekoski at first would be the go-ahead run.
I got to say, it's been a real circus show when it comes to throwing the ball back to the pitcher today for Garavito.
And with a runner at third again, I mean, as I said, Justin Cruz has got some speed there as well. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that one is put on the ground. The second baseman, Relaford, has it. He's going to throw to first, and the ball gets away from the first baseman. And we have got a tie game once again. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? He's right. Why is that ball not going to second base? Why? I just don't get it. Now you got 2 runners in scoring position for arguably the best hitter for either team. This is a worst-case scenario right now for Santa Fe.
Cruz scores from third. We're calling that an E4. It has to be.
I mean, he made a solid play to stop it, but just he's really staring down second base and decides to make an off-balance throw to first.
That first pitch to Pagozzo, called a strike.
Just a sloppy play, sloppy inning right here by Santa Fe Saints. As I'm sure their coach, Johnny Wiggins, is really going to give it to them.
That 0-1 pitch gets away initially from the pitcher Garavito, but not far enough so that Zmekoski could come home from third. He is representing the go-ahead run over at third base. He got Mitchum over at second as well after the 2-base error by this Santa Fe defense.
Zmekoski a little mad at himself for not getting a better jump and maybe sending it on that one.
This one to Pagozzo sends him leaning away.
You know, if someone else was up to the plate, you would say, lean into it. We got ice.
But this is the one guy that you know. I mean, 2 outs, runners running in contact, 2 runners in scoring position. A base hit here would put you in real good position. The 2-1 is put on the ground, charged by the shortstop, Keene, and he loses the handle, and now the Eagles have the lead.
Amazing. Just error after error. This one might not be an error, but just a very doable play. Would have been a good play, but now the Eagles are looking to take a lead.
They have it, 6-5.
Yeah.
TCC leads. Another runner at third base. I'm going to call that probably an infield single.
Yeah.
For Josh Pagozzo, as once again he tied the game in the 6th, and he gave the Eagles the lead in the 7th. How much can you say right now about Josh Pagozzo, the hottest hitter on the planet? That one fouled back by Andrew Fernandez.
Now, once again, just some questionable managing here by Johnny Wiggins, as Blair is just being left out there to dry. No hope in sight. There is someone in the pen, but they're just leaving it up to him.
They do have Moran warming up in the pen. He's been in there all inning. As there's a strike to Andrew Fernandez, and that'll take it to 0-2.
It just does not make sense to me. You have a bullpen. This is a college-level team. You have players ready to come in and pitch, and they're not coming in.
And you called it in that February 2nd game. That's what did the Saints in then, and it's doing them in again here. Runner goes at first, pitch out, but there will be no throw as they've got the runner at third in a pickle. The throw comes out, and the runner scores! Dave Mitchum gets out of the pickle at third base. Eagles lead now 7-5.
Just cannot contain my excitement right there as yet another, I can't even count how many this inning, mistakes by the Santa Fe Saints.
A comedy of errors if we've ever seen one by this Santa Fe defense.
They had him up for dry. Like he was dead in his rights.
Pagozzo down to second on the successful stolen base attempt, as that one fouled out of play by Fernandez.
And who is it, Mitchum? Who's on second? Pagozzo.
Pagozzo's at second.
Pagozzo had a great jump. He was probably going to be there. So doing the trick play actually worked out for the best, even though I would not say 2-out trick play is really worth it.
And that one put high in the air. Mock goes back to the wall, and that one is off the wall. 1 run scores. Runner goes to third. Fernandez, as he's got a pickle, but gets back to second. Throw gets away from Campbell, but an RBI double by Andrew Fernandez scores Josh Pagozzo from second. And the Eagles are pouring it on.
I just can't believe it. Just a comedy of errors, as you said. I mean, that right there is a rip double in the gap by Andrew Fernandez. Just a beautiful swing, beautiful contact, but still, what is this, a 5-piece in this inning?
Eagles now with an 8-5 lead. Saints make a pitching change. We'll step aside while he gets warmed up. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Eagles Baseball on TCCEagles.com. New pitcher out for the Saints. The right-hander Tobin Moran. Jake Blair's day is done. An inning and a third. 5 runs on 4 hits. In line for the loss. I think his defense let him down. I think, just to leave him in we are both in agreement was a bad decision. And now the Eagles come out on the right side of it with an 8-5 lead and a chance with another runner at second base to add on to more. And Marco Dinges, this is the 9th hitter to come to the plate in the 7th. So the Eagles here batting around on this Wednesday night. The first pitch from Moran is slapped to left, and that stays fair. So another run's going to come across to score. In comes Fernandez, and a standing up RBI double by Marco Dinges makes this game 9-5.
Dinges shoots an arrow into our dugout there. As what an onslaught of a bottom of the 7th. I mean, it is just crazy to think the turning events, the way this game has just completely changed. The first 4 innings was silent from the offense, pitching prowess at its finest. And now sloppy defense, sloppy coaching, really. And the game's blown wide open, 9-5.
And when Jacob Von Thaden came to the plate to start this 7th, who could have guessed that he would be getting his second at-bat of this inning? Fouls that first one out of play.
Von Thaden holding his own since replacing Kreiser.
0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts at the plate, but you're right. It's been a pretty decent backstop.
Well, Kreiser struck out too.
That's true. I mean, everyone was looking foolish against Mitchell Gross until that 6th inning, as that one fouled right back along the screen towards us up in the press box.
I just don't know how much more it can go. I mean, this has just been a wild inning, and like we talked about, nothing coming from the long ball. It's just not the way TCC plays, and they're really driving up the score column without it.
A few doubles, a couple triples as well, as that one is high. I mean, they had only 3 singles through 5. Then they put up a couple extra base hits in the 6th, and then here in the 7th, I mean, they've been pouring it on. I have 2 doubles and a triple here in this inning alone. The one to Von Thaden, that one is outside and low. Then just back into second base. So a chance to pour on a little bit more. But it's getting gluttonous at this point. I mean, we're on the verge of a blowout, and we came into this inning trailing.
And as crazy as it is, after the first third plus of this game, it's starting to look closer to the first time these two faced off, especially if the Saints can get something going in the top half of the 8th. That's assuming they can ever get out of this inning.
Swing and a miss there for Von Thaden, and that will end the inning, but not before TCC puts on, I believe, 6 runs and take a commanding 9-5 lead. They've got 6 outs left to get. Top of the 8th when we return. New pitcher out for the Eagles as Campbell Cleveland's day is done. He went 1 inning coming in the 7th, gave up a run of his own. But here the Eagles are with a 9-5 lead, and David Strager on the mound. And Max, Strager faced these Saints the last time these two teams met.
Yeah, in fact, Strager got the start, surprisingly enough, and mightily struggled with it. Going 1 1/3, giving up 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, no strikeouts, and even gave up a long ball. But with the padded lead right now, just trying to fire in there some strikes.
That one chopped along the third base line. Tough throw for Fernandez, and he makes it for out number 1.
An amazing adjustment right there, as it looked like it hit off the lip between the base path and the grass and jolted sideways, but he was able to get his glove over real quick and make a solid on-the-run throw.
So that puts away Key. Now it'll be the 9-man Zeb Marquise. Today's 1 for 3. And Strager, I don't think is really part of this rotation anymore. Has really shifted to the bullpen, but a pretty decent spot here to close out what would be a huge comeback win.
And like I said before, after struggling against a team you've already faced, this could be a real confidence boost if he can come in here and go 1, 2, 3.
So Campbell Cleveland right now is the pitcher of record. He'd be in line for the win. It would be Jake Blair for the Saints in line for the loss. 5 outs left to get as that one is fouled out of play along the right side.
And the sad part about this game is everyone's going to look back on it and completely forget how beautiful the game Mitchell Gross had.
And his line doesn't even look that great at the end of it. 5 1/3, 3 runs on 6 hits. It was just really that 6th inning that tripped him up. He was cruising until then. As that one is put up the middle, diving play by Smithkowski to get it, and he's safe, barely.
I don't have a good view from here, but realistically, I don't think he had a great view on it either, as he had to look through Mekhi Johnson. That was a beautiful play by Smithkowski, first off.
Yeah, and he's been playing terrific at shortstop all game. I mean, that was one for the highlight reel if that out could have been completed.
And this is where having a little bit of an undersized first baseman might come back to hurt TCC, as usually first basemen are wide-ranging, can really stretch for all those balls.
Lays down a bunt, does Relford, right to the pitcher Strager, and that high throw to Mekhi Johnson is good for out number 2.
Almost came back to hurt him again.
Yeah, right on cue was that play. Marquise moves over to second. So they got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for Wyatt Campbell today, who is 0 for 3 with a walk.
After that walk, he came all the way around the base paths to score after Campbell Cleveland entered with a 3-1 count.
At first pitch is called a strike.
2 down here. Sun completely set, as it is still pretty bright. The lights are not doing too much yet.
May start taking effect by the very end of this game. That one called a strike, nicely secured by Von Thaden there.
Got to give Von Thaden credit right there, as that, to me, looked a little outside, but he was set up there, caught it well, stuck it well, did a great job presenting that ball.
Strager looking to put an end to this 8th inning. That one high.
Strager just got to do a little bit better, reaching out, finishing his throw, not babying it, and trying to do a little too much, even though he's not doing enough, if that makes any sense.
Still with 2 strikes against Wyatt Campbell. Strager comes home, puts that one high in the air in no man's land, but it is Mitchum in shallow right to make the grab and retire the side. Eagles with a 9-5 lead. They've just got 3 outs left to get. You're watching Eagles baseball on tcceagles.com and YouTube.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges, eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
Mekhi Johnson, Caleb Absher, Justin Cruz, the 7-8-9 hitters to try and add some insurance for TCC. That first pitch to Johnson is called strike one.
After hitting a round, the Eagles start their second consecutive inning with the bottom of the order.
Yep, 10 Eagles came to the plate in the seventh. Jacob Von Theoden batted twice. Big cut and a miss there for Mekhi Johnson, brings it now to 0-2. Tobin Moran back out to continue this game for Santa Fe. 5 1/3 from Mitchell Gross, 1 1/3 from Jake Blair, and likely Tobin Moran to take them the rest of the way as they trail by 4. That 0-2 pitch hit high in the air. Outfielders converge out in right center, and it will eventually be Mock to make the grab for out number 1.
Sort of seems like Johnny Wiggins really tore into them about their defense. They controlled that one with no problem.
And you were all over that earlier on in the game. It's like balls were just shooting through the gap. Outfielders were kind of not necessarily jogging, but it just balls were getting past them all day. And you saw them converge there on just a routine fly out.
Great first pitch curveball right there.
Got a pinch hitter out for TCC.
Replacing Caleb Absher.
Ziggy Thomas, the lefty. Dave Mitchum taking his place today in right field to get him just a little look here at the end of this ball game. Keep him fresh for this weekend. That one is swung on and missed by Ziggy Thomas.
You know, getting put into these ball games late, it's a little hard on you. You're a little cold. You're not quite ready to face some high-level pitching like this, but Ziggy Thomas has all of the capabilities to be effective.
And he'll be a defensive replacement as well, as that one is going to go just foul.
Just got around it a little too much, hooked it right over that line.
Friday, Saturday series against the State College of Florida Manatee Sarasota. That'll be it for this week. Those games at home. Friday at 5 o'clock, Saturday at 2 o'clock. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count into Ziggy Thomas. Reminder to watch your Eagles on the hardwood on the road at Pensacola State. Game getting underway at 8:30, so we're about a couple hours away from that as they look to try and make a last second bid for the state tournament. As that one fouled off by Ziggy Thomas again. And then the basketball team will have a home game this Saturday against Gulf Coast State. Could be a play-in game for both of those teams, so that's definitely one. If you're in the area, definitely come out to the Eagle Dome for that one, 5 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah, this weekend set against SCF be a little nostalgic for me. I grew up right in that area.
That one put high in the air by Thomas, but the right fielder Mock is there to make the grab for out number 2. So a couple flyouts to right, and that'll leave it for Justin Cruz.
You know, I'll pose the question to you real quick. We've had this argument in my family numerous times. What sounds a little bit more imposing? The Manatees or the Lancers?
Gotta be Lancers.
It's gotta be Lancers. Why would they ever get rid of a great mascot name like that? But no, now it's just the SCF Manatees. Oh.
First pitch is going to get down the left field line for extra bases. Justin Cruz going to second base. Will he stop there? He does not. He's going to go for 3. Throw cut off. Now into third base, and he's safe. Triples and back-to-back innings for Justin Cruz. Shot right down the third base line. The left fielder Guthrie had trouble getting it back in. And Justin Cruz, who was wheeling around the bases, gets all the way to third.
You know, I love his aggressiveness, but he almost committed a cardinal sin of making the last out at third base. But you got to love the aggressiveness right there, going for back-to-back triples. I mean, how often do you get that chance?
And Jason Smetkowski puts that one on the ground to Campbell. Campbell going over the first for out number 3. So the Eagles with 2 outs do get Justin Cruz over to third, but leave him there. 4-run lead. It's 9-5. 3 outs left to get. Top of the 9th when we come back. David Strager back out for the Eagles to try and cap off this huge comeback win against Santa Fe. Not many times you get to have a chance at a season sweep against basically a top 15 team in the country.
And what better school to do it against than a Gainesville school?
Than the team from Gainesville.
It's a little off-brand rivalry we got here.
2 really exciting high-scoring affairs as that one is blasted, scraping the sky. The right fielder Mitchum coming over in foul territory, and he'll make the grab.
For
out number
Ziggy
1.
Thomas,
You're right. Ziggy Thomas, the defensive replacement out there. Yeah, Dave Mitchum moves over to left, and Ziggy Thomas, who hit for Absher, replaces Mitchum in right. So it's Mitchum, Pagozzo, and Thomas left to right for this final inning.
Great play right there, tracking it down, knowing where the fence was, not worrying about it whatsoever.
That was Harrell's. Now Santiago Gravito, and he gets that one down the left field line for a base hit. Takes a wide turn at first, but will stay there. So a 1-out single for Garavito, and that gets a man on for the Saints and brings up Dylan Mock, who is 1 for 4 with that homer.
I'm not going to say it this time. I'm a little too worried.
Had a sac fly in the 7th as well, so a couple of RBIs for him today. That one fouled right back against the screen right in front of us.
Be quite the confidence boost for Strager to get a double play here. Send us home happy.
The 0-1 to Dylan Mock, and that one is put into play, and that's going to get down for a hit on the right side now. Saints move station to station. After that single for Mock, it's first and second with 1 out now for Jacob Guthrie.
You know, beautiful dodge right there by Garavito as he almost got nailed with that line drive. Believe we have a pinch hitter in.
It looks So pinch hitter for Guthrie. Jake McKee will bat from the right side. First pitch to him is popped in the air. Center fielder Pagozo goes back right in front of the warning track. Runner from second tags. Throw will be cut off by the shortstop, and so it'll be runners at the corners now with 2 outs for Billy Graham.
Great job. Just get it in, get it to second, keep that runner at first. Don't need to make it worse than it already is.
Saints down to their last gasp. It will be the DH Billy Graham today, 1 for 4 with an RBI double.
It's been a pretty impactful bat today, but TCC will look to end it here. One final batter.
Strager trying to finish things off. Strike 1.
Nice off-speed pitch to start the at-bat.
That one launched high in the air. Thomas going over to his right and can't make the play. It's going to get past him and go to the wall. 1 run scores. Another one is going to come around as Graham goes to third, and he's caught between second and third, and he's safe at second. So they almost got him in the game-ending pickle. Instead, it's a 2 RBI double for Billy Graham. Makes this game now 9-7.
So many things about that play I'm noticing. 1, I once again jinxed it. 2, he would have been safe by a third, like pretty noticeably, I think. Odd call to hold him. But if we keep that tag on him at second base, he could have easily popped off for a moment, and the game could be over, but now we might be doing a call to the bullpen.
The tying run would be coming to the plate. It'll be another pinch hitter for Santa Fe, and Coach Matt comes to get the ball from David Strager. New pitcher on for the Eagles. We'll tell you about him when we come back as they look to close out this 9-7 lead. Eagles bring their closer out of the bullpen. The tall, lanky right-hander Drew Lang to try and get the final out of this ball game. It was David Strager who was trying to get the final 6 outs, but could only go an inning and 2/3, 4 hits, no walks or no strikeouts. He's got 2 earned runs so far, but he's responsible for Billy Graham at second base. And now, with the Saints still down to their final out, they go to the bench. It'll be Brett Major in pinch hitting for Hunter Keene, and he represents the tying run. So a 9-5 lead, not necessarily an instance that you foresee yourself having to bring in your closer, but thankfully only one out left to get, and this is certainly the man for the job this season, Drew Lang. He's got a couple of saves, 6 innings of work, a 3 ERA, 0-1 on the year with those 2 saves.
Mike McLeod not messing around here, wants to put this game to bed.
And I think we are both in agreement that's the right call to make. First pitch well inside to Madron.
His arm's just a little bit behind right there. Speed it up a little bit, and he should be hitting that curved ball off-speed pitch. Both corners hugging the line, no doubles defense.
Looks back to Graham at second, now comes home. That one called strike 1.
Did a little bit better there, but still left it up. Lang should strictly be focusing on the hitter. No need to care about that runner on second.
From the first base side of the rubber, Lang comes home. Low, blocked by Von Thaden. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now the count to Madron.
Now it's, in this case, a lot of the times, outside of, the 9th inning, you wouldn't be so worried about walking a runner, having to force at every bag. But if you do that now, it's a new game. They might take the lead with a home run.
The 2-1 delivery, swung and put into play. The shortstop Smeskowski makes a diving attempt, and he's got no play. Graham moves over to third, and now the Saints get the tying run at first base. Runners at the corners, still 2 outs for Zeb Marquise.
That little squibbler right there didn't have much of a chance at any bag, honestly.
Marquise today 2 for 4 with a couple of singles in the 9 spot for Santa Fe today. Lang rubs up a new baseball. Still only 1 out left to get. 9-7 your score. Runners at first and third. The first one to Marquise. Called a strike on the outside part of the plate.
Great pitch right there. Just a bit off the plate maybe, but he's been giving it all day for the most part.
And if that's a call that everyone else has been getting, why not try and go and get it for yourself to put an end to this thing? Now the 0-1 swung on and missed. And now the Saints are down to their final strike.
What do you expect? Off speed or gas him away?
I think at 0-2, maybe try and get him to chase at something cheap.
Yeah, I don't think there's no need to leave a ball in the zone right here.
The 0-2. And he takes that pitch low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's a good miss. It really is. No harm, no foul.
Worth a shot, certainly.
Absolutely.
And the runner at third is not the tying run, so if it gets away, you're still up a run. The 1-2 to Marquise. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that'll put this game in the books. A 9-7 comeback victory for your Tallahassee Eagles.
What a game. What a game, really.
What a game it is as the Tallahassee dugout comes out to greet the man on the mound, Drew Lang, who got the 1-out save. The outfield comes running in. The final lines for this game for TCC, it was 9 runs on 12 hits, 1 error. And for Santa Fe, 7 runs on 12 hits, 1 error for them as well. The winning pitcher will be Campbell Cleveland, who did give up the lead, but in the very next inning in the 7th, the Eagles put up a 6 spot. The losing pitcher will be Jake Blair, who gave up 6 runs, 5 of them earned in just an inning and a third of work, and that, Max, was really what did the Saints in.
We like to call in my family what Campbell Cleveland got tonight, the Guillermo Mota.
Yes.
Actually, I think it's either the Guillermo Mota or the Trevor Gagne. When you get one of them is you give up the lead and you're in line for the loss, then you get the win, or you walk home a walk-off run.
It was a pitcher's duel until the top of the 5th, where the Saints scored the first run of the game. They add on 2 more in the top of the 6th. Then it was clutch back-to-back-to-back big hits for the Eagles to tie that game at 3. Then the very next inning, the Saints put up 2 more, and then bang, it was the bottom of the 7th. That 6-run inning where 10 Eagles came to the plate that sealed the deal. So a beautiful game. I'm glad that everyone was with us for this one. William Haynes alongside Max Rundy bringing you the action here on this Wednesday now evening. The next broadcast on our airwaves will be Saturday night. Gulf Coast State College on the basketball side coming into town at the Eagle Dome. So we hope that you'll join us for that one, either in person at the Eagle Dome or tuning in live. And then on the baseball side of things, actually the next game is Friday night, 5 o'clock against the State College of Florida, Manatee, Sarasota. So baseball Friday at 5 o'clock, basketball Saturday at 5 o'clock, and we hope that you'll join us again. So for William Haynes, my broadcast partner Max Rundy, our broadcast engineer Jack Oliaro, this has been a presentation of TCC Baseball.